Once these two anchors. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the F1 ChatPod. I'm David Milchard.
And I'm JB.
Welcome to the first 5 minutes of the show where we're going to talk about our lives. Nothing to do with Formula One, just us talking about our lives and where we're at and what we're challenged with, and also what we're blessed with.
There's plenty of experts out there who know F1.
Yeah.
There's only two experts who know JB and Milky.
That's exactly right. So what you're going to get is some expert insight into Jason Bryden and David Milchard in the first 5 minutes of every podcast. I'm currently evicting a tenant.
Go ahead with your.
I'm evicting a tenant.
How's it going?
Okay, it's so stressful. It costs me a lot of money. I haven't been.
How much money?
Well, I've lost, unless I take him to small claims court, which is who knows how that works. I've never done that, so that's next on the list of things to do. I've got three, six. It's probably gonna be 12 grand.
Oh, there she is. Look how gorgeous she is.
I have vertigo.
Mm-hmm.
You have vertigo.
Yeah, this is a
Right
live
now.
stream, by the way.
Oh,
Right
everyone.
now you have vertigo? Tell her. Give her the headphones.
You have vertigo. He's asking.
Oh, yeah, I do. I've had it since last Friday.
What happens?
It's vertigo.
Well,
Oh, I
ask
just
her.
get dizzy, off balance.
She gets dizzy, off balance, especially when she
I
lies
can
down.
hear her.
Yeah.
She can't hear me.
What do you say?
You can't hear him.
No.
He can hear you.
Yeah. So I will not be driving any Formula One cars today.
What do you have to? Okay, bye bye.
What do you say?
Just get out of here. So I'm also dealing with a wife that has vertigo.
That's kind of cute though. Like I like it. Sometimes I like it. Like I like a gammy leg. Do you like that?
No, it just means more work.
Or a cross eye?
Nope,
I like that in a woman.
not for me.
I like the weakest ibex in the herd. That kind of fair fantasy. Hello?
Hi, I can hear you. And so far the first 3 minutes of the podcast, we've had an unexpected guest who has vertigo. We've realized that JB is attracted to the weak, which sounds absolutely terrible.
And you're
But we're
evicting a tenant.
Yeah, and so I sound like a horrible landlord.
You're a slumlord.
We
Now,
are.
You have one condo in Pemberton, and this poor fella lost his job and became a drug addict, and now he won't leave. Is that right?
I mean, that's basically where we're at. Yeah, I think. I mean, I shouldn't make assumptions, but the last time I saw him, he seemed rather. I was there with a cop, and he was like, it's very aggressive, and just didn't look good, and basically didn't remember that he saw me like 5 days before.
And what's the lesson here?
Well, the lesson is for me that I can't not rent it. I can't not rent the place. I can't afford to have an empty house and rent in the city, so I just have to find a better guest. And then in the meantime, because it's in my makeup, I'll probably meet with my MLA, and I hope David Eby gets in because I have a connection to David Eby pretty quick. Or I shouldn't. I don't know how quick it would be, but I do have a direct line to David, and I'm gonna change the BC Tenancy Act. You heard it right here.
I love your approach. I can't believe you guys still don't have a government.
I know it's amazing. Here's what also is incredible. Rustad, whatever that gentleman's name is, he didn't release his policy plans for the British Columbian government and what they're going to do and how they're going to turn this country or province around. He didn't release it till 1 week before the election.
Yeah. Smart.
And then people are like, I'll vote for that guy. So you're like, you voted for a guy who didn't have a plan, didn't let you know what his plan was until a week before. So you don't have time to examine the plan. And also it makes you wonder, how much of a plan did he have?
People don't read platforms. only very few people like you and me, and we're not even politically savvy.
Yeah, but perhaps not, but we might be more savvy than, who knows, 75% of the population of Canada, maybe the world.
Can you believe Brent Chapman?
I'm shocked. As soon as I saw that, which was Christina was in the other room and I was in the dining room, I started going, I go, well, there you go. That's why you would never vote for that party, because that person, no offense, Brent, is it Brent or Brett?
Brent
Brent.
Chapman. Yeah.
No offense. I've spent time with that person and I wouldn't
Yeah.
want that person driving the car.
We have spent time years ago. If listeners, watchers, viewers go to YouTube and look up the staff room, a web series we made together with Brent, one of the funniest motherfuckers around.
Very funny.
And he was always right wing, but I didn't know he was like that right wing, like Alex Jones. What right wing? That was surprising.
Shocking.
How's that preamble? Are we ready to get into Mexico?
Well, they've learned something about us, and why not? It's, hey, we're not here just to spew F1 facts, okay? We're here to spew our insides as well.
There's plenty of people out there spewing facts, and what we've noticed in podcasts about F1 is that, for the most part, they're not entertaining.
Yeah, and perhaps we're not either, but our aim is to be, so we'll see how it goes.
No, we're entertaining.
You're right, JB. I mean, look at you. You look like a game show host from 1984. Who wouldn't want to watch you?
Exactly.
Or listen? Listen to that voice.
Yeah, listen to my voice. And
Yeah.
you look like a French dock worker from the 1970s.
You know what would make me really happy this morning, JB? If you could announce what the next prize is for the contestant.
Oh,
Look at her.
a new car.
Sounds pretty good. What type of car is it, JB?
It's a 1987 Mazda Miata.
Oh my God. How many horsepower?
112.
Sweet.
Okay, so let's get into Mexico City, shall we?
Yeah, are we doing a post first of Austin, or are we doing a pre?
Post Austin? Go ahead.
I think
post Austin.
I think we should. Okay. Well, listen. Yet again, Formula One has found itself in a mess of what is an overtaking car or a defending car. Nobody knows anymore. Nobody knows the track's limits. And isn't it funny that it almost always involves Max Verstappen? However, having said that, there were a lot of other drivers that were included in incidences in a similar fashion. However, Max didn't get a penalty either. So here's my insight for Formula One. Put some gravel traps down, put some grass down, and have all the cameras on all the time on all the cars facing forward so you can see exactly what a driver's doing. And they need access to telemetry in real time to the F1 stewards. End of story.
So you want to take all the mystery and controversy away?
Controversy or controversy, either one.
It's
I'm
a European sport. We say controversy now.
Okay. I hate it.
I love
it.
I
like it when
love
it's
that there's a bad guy. I love that he keeps cucking Norris. This is the most interesting stuff about racing, and I think sometimes we lose sight of how important having a villain is. And Max is so good at it. He always gets away with stuff because he's the best, and that's the reason why he's going to win the championship.
I totally appreciate your opinion. I mean, I'm a gentleman. I'm not gonna say much other than that. I'm a sportsman.
You are a sportsman.
So I don't know where you stand with either of those two adjectives.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of
you get what you pay for with Norris. You get what you pay for. You just watch him in a post race. I didn't do my best. I'll do better next time.
Well, do you not think that that's part strategy that he talks like that?
No, I don't. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It's because you've seen him lose the plot. So there
Right.
are plenty of instances where you know that he's just styling, and I'm going, you're not on script anymore. You're shit talking yourself.
Right.
And if you keep telling yourself that story, that's exactly what you're going to get.
Mm. I mean, that's true. I mean, I can't deny that. That's good uh, self. What would you call that? Coach? You're a coach, a life coach. Anyone can be a life coach nowadays. Might as well be you.
And pretty much everyone is. And I'm not a life coach, but I'm I just notice that years ago I read a book by John Wooden, the famous coach of the UCLA Bruins basketball team. He coached Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Um,
Well, that must have been easy.
yeah,
I mean, the guy was 7 feet
what
tall. He didn't have to.
but what he focused on was visualization and self-talk and the story you tell yourselves. And that was the biggest takeaway I took from that book was if if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. The whole world is trying to get to say no to you.
Mm-hmm.
Lando Norris is up there going, I got this one, guys. I got this
Mm-hmm.
one. Let me say no to myself before you say no to me. We do it all the time. We're always, let me hurt me before you hurt me. It's called self-deprecation, and it's a waste of energy.
Well, having said that, I mean, I guess we're going to become the number one Formula One podcast, video and audio, probably within the next 24 months.
Yeah, I agree. Let's make it 12, okay? I'm not getting
Okay.
any younger. On that, so we're streaming out to YouTube and Twitch
Yes.
right now. Does
It's-
it save the video there?
Yeah, it has to because
Or does it just disappear after?
no, I think at the end when we end this, I mean, this is another great part about our podcast is that you're watching two men of a certain age try and manage their way through social media and technology. We're used to knobs, we're used to switches, dials, levers. That's what we're used to.
Yeah.
Touch screens, sliding and swiping and scrolling and whatever. That's not us.
No, but we're not going down without a fight, guys.
No way. So I think you have an option to save it to your Twitch platform when this is over. I'm pretty
And
sure there'll be a
YouTube?
thing. And YouTube, yeah. Now we might need to go into the YouTube channel to do such a thing.
And then I've got to pull the audio out and put it on the podcast thing.
Well, I'm sure in Restream there'll be an option for just audio export.
Yeah, there is, but they don't have an option to where you just add your Buzzsprout link.
Right. I don't know what's the Buzzsprout.
That's our we have a podcast channel also.
Oh, that's good. I guess we need that.
I can't believe I'm the techno guy in this relationship. That's
Well,
really
I'd like to take
disappointing.
Yeah, well, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you in this moment because you've been pushing this up the hill. I've had a kind of a crazy little time. I can see the light. Monday night,
Okay, good.
I can see
Good.
the light.
I'm
I'll
with
have,
you till you see the light.
Mhm.
But then come January, when I'm in school again, I think we'll have to switch roles.
school.
Yeah. My collar's not cooperating. I hope that doesn't make too much noise. I'm going back to school. I'm taking a master's.
Why?
Didn't I tell you that?
No, there was rumors of it, but I didn't think that you were
Because
being serious.
I haven't made any money as an actor in 5 years.
Yeah, but what are you going to school for?
I'm getting a master's in psychology and I'm becoming a talk therapist.
So you literally are going to become some form of a life coach. You just said you weren't.
Well, I'm becoming a psychotherapist.
What does that mean? What does this mean?
It means I have clients. It means you come and sit on my couch and you talk and I listen and then I get you to a deeper understanding of the situation you're in.
Wow, I'm like, this is real time reaction.
Yeah, you're stunned.
I
I
can't.
know most people go, "Oh, that's a good idea. I could see you do that, JB."
Not me.
you've got some wisdom. You've been through a ringer or two. You're a
Yeah,
good
sure.
teacher. And I don't know if I guess I'm still waiting for your supportive
You're not going to
nod
get
of
it.
approval.
You're not getting that support. I'm not giving that to you. No way.
Okay, great.
Like, I don't understand.
My
Here's
mistake.
my point of view. The only real way to make money in this world,
Yeah.
I think if you is to create your own business, and perhaps that's what you're doing by becoming a psycho blah blah, right? And sure. And you know what? I guess there's probably lots of clients for that. But I believe your real gift is being funny, entertaining, and charming, and interview people, and that's what So, all right. I guess if that's what you want to do, sure. Maybe.
I've been making my own digital series since 2010,
Mhm,
2009.
mhm,
Nothing happened from there. I've written
mhm,
7 screenplays, 2 of which have been optioned twice. Nothing happened there.
mhm,
I started podcasting in 2017. This is like number 7. Nothing's happened there. I've been auditioning since forever. Nothing's happened since Umbrella Academy in 2019. I've got to look at the evidence here, Milky, and go, maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. So I'm still here to entertain. It's just an audience of one at a
mhm.
time
Well,
for now.
I mean, this feels less about F1 and more like uh, a gender reveal party. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. Um, you, if I may, if I may, when it comes, listen, it's not like I'm making money off the entertainment business either, but if I may, I think the reason why most people that are in the arts wanting to sell TV shows or wanting to, you know, whatever, make a movie, whatever, and it does okay or doesn't do much at all, is because I think people aren't properly strategic and really thorough in what their plan is with what it is that they're writing or making. They're like, oh, I'm inspired by this. I want to write this. Well, that's not good enough. Not in our world, not anymore. There might have been a time like that in the 90s when they would read something and they take a look at the artist, the director, whatever, and they'd be like, you know what? I believe in this guy for whatever reason, or this woman for whatever reason, and they'd make that movie, and they'd get it out and it'd be in cinemas or festivals. But the market's shifted, and it has in the last 10, probably 15 years. It's slowly gone away, and once Netflix came, it completely changed the landscape.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to be precise, and you have to have a plan. And I talk about all the time with Dylan and Matt, and we're all like, "What are we doing? What are we doing?" And I said, "Well, you got to pick something that's going to sell." And if you don't want to write that movie or you don't want to make that movie, well, then that's a different story. Then don't make, then it's not. But you can make money if you make the right movie. You can make stuff, and you might not make a lot, but you got to be strategic. That's what I think, because the evidence would suggest if I want to write a movie about my personal struggles of blah blah blah, you're not going to get.
Christina.
Yeah, you're not gonna. It's not going to happen. I got to make a horror movie that has a twist to it, that take a genre, voodoo. No one's hasn't done a lot of voodoo lately. Do a voodoo horror movie. Great, there's an idea. That's at least a genre that hasn't been of horror that hasn't been tapped. So you do that and push that through, and you shoot that super cheap.
And I'm not going to stop making stuff. Like I'm making a series now called Kensington Diner.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to get a job too.
Mm-hmm.
In 2.5 years. First,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go back to school for 2.5 fucking years. And then I'm going to get a job. And then hopefully I'll be able to pay for my children.
So I have this question. This is really not a Formula One podcast today. You're going to spend, and I'm not trying to dissuade you, but I can't help it because I can't keep my mouth shut.
That's true.
2.5 years. What if you took that 2.5 years and put that into a business, like an actual business where you sold something? Sorry, my wife is about to tell me I'm being an asshole.
Are you live? Or?
Yeah, we're live streaming.
Oh, is this about JB going back to school?
This is about JB going back to school.
I'm with him 150%.
You're not.
Yes, I
No.
support him.
I don't support him.
I do.
I don't support this.
I
Yes,
totally
do. You gotta
expect.
fill your pot, dude. You gotta fill
I
your pot with
totally.
things that you love. I'm not a one-trick pony.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
right.
Tell JB I'm not a
Hey,
one-trick
this
pony.
is my live stream.
She's the only smart one in that house.
We're not one-trick ponies.
That's right, darling. I love
What
you.
I'm what
I
I'm
love
saying
you.
is
You're living with an animal. You're living with an
the
idiotic animal who still thinks he can make money in the film industry in Canada. Look at the guns.
what
So
I'm
strong.
saying is I'm not saying that you should put that focus into the TV and film industry necessarily. What I'm saying is what's your business to sell a product? Like that is something like to me, you're gonna spend 2.5 years learning all this stuff about listing and giving people advice, which oh my God. You know what my advice is? Don't sit on your ass, deal with it and get on with it. And everyone's got a bag of shit in their fucking sorry, this live stream's gone off the rails. Just get on with it. Everyone's got baggage.
It would be different listening to you if you weren't such a failure. It would be way
about
different.
It's not about baggage. He's helping people. Good for you, JB. JB and I are not one-trick ponies. We're three-dimensional. Yes, you
That's
have
right,
to do what you
darling.
love.
That's right, darling.
Okay, get out of here. This is our
I
podcast.
think we found the
I
little.
was all excited about talking about Formula One, and
I
I
think we
find out
found
my
a little-
friend's going to go to school for psychology.
I think we found a hook in this podcast.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna pop in giving
I love it.
unsolicited advice.
Yeah, you're gonna show off your big muscles. You guys are the best.
Okay, I gotta do some laundry.
So I don't fall over.
Okay, let's get to some F1, shall we?
I'm going to try. I don't know.
Did you do any prep for this? On the shared document, you haven't written a
No, I
stitch.
haven't done any prep, and I'll be honest with you. I'm literally dealing with the eviction process and filing for P2 visas and finding new tenants. And there's another thing on the list there. Oh yeah, getting my dog to Hawaii
Why is your dog going to Hawaii?
because my lovely wife, who supports you and your life choice, has to have the dog come to Hawaii whenever we go.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I have basically 3 deadlines that I have to, after I'm done this, I have to go get all those done. And then I got to go priority post everything to the destinations. Okay,
great. All right. So shall we talk about Mexico City, or were you still talking about Austin?
Well, I want to know what I want. These are my thoughts for questions. Sorry, that I'd like to ask you. What was the most controversial day other than Verstappen driving Lando off? What was the other most controversial thing that you saw?
I think it was Ferrari winning 1-2.
That's controversial?
Well, I mean, they haven't done that before for many, many years. So that was a surprise, maybe not controversial.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, all the pundits talk about now Ferrari, now are they going to win again? And it's the same thing over and over again. With F1 this year, at least, the answer is clearly no. No, Ferrari can't duplicate that. There's too much parity, or not too much. There's too much for a dynasty to build.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
my hot take. Ferrari's not going to win again, not in Mexico City, that's for sure.
I mean, the genius of Max Verstappen, even though I hate to say it, is that he came out of the gates, won a bunch of races, and then once they realized the car was no good, he was like, I just got to always kind of finish close, and I've got a big enough lead, I'll win. And that's what a good champion can do. And then also, I guess, in his case, drive people off the road all the time.
Well, by hook or by crook. I mean, that is something that in order to thread that, and not everybody can do that. Not everybody is born with an innate sense of larceny. There are the Max Verstappens, there are the Jos Verstappens, even the Donald Trumps, where they have a singular vision of where they belong in this world. And they don't give a shit about what other people say.
It's
He's
true. Senna,
always on board. He's
Eric,
always thematically, Max is always sound. He's always Max, unapologetically.
I mean, Senna was the same way. Senna
Was he?
was, yeah, very aggressive, and like, super hyper focused on what he believed and what he thought was right, and would approach whatever race, whatever situation he was in the same way. It's funny because when I was watching the race, um, I think that the drivers, and this probably applies to almost all of them, probably almost all of them, maybe not Lewis, they have succumbed to the behavior of Max Verstappen. In other words, crash into him.
Yes.
If he's
They're-
going to do
they're
that,
racing his race now. They're not racing their own races.
let him hit you or you hit him, whatever. Just do it. So he needs to know. And that's why the 2021 season, when Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were back and forth head to head, they had some coming together because Lewis goes, well, that's how he drives. So I can't, we have to, I guess we're crashing.
Yeah.
So
That takes a lot of maturity
mhm,
to not get sucked into the vortex, the Verstappian vortex.
mhm. Funny enough, I think Charles Leclerc, my prediction is if that car is consistent next year and you have Lewis Hamilton and Leclerc, they're probably going to take points off each other, unfortunately. But here's what's going to be interesting is I think that both those drivers are aggressive enough to combat Verstappen's style, which could make a really cool season as long as that Ferrari's good next year.
Oh.
So, because I
That's
think if it's not
interesting.
Lewis Hamilton having a go and a mix up with Max, it's going to be Charles who'll have a mix up with Max.
So do you think that Ferrari next year is going to be a bit like McLaren this year, where there's
I mean,
two number one drivers?
if the trend goes up, well, for the car anyways, yes. And I think there will be two number one drivers.
Well, that'll be exciting.
Yeah. And then the only other thing I'll say about just because I'm a huge fan of Formula One, I've got lots of opinions, as you know, I'm clearly about your life choices as well as others. I think that it's insane that a sport that has all this money and all this technology that they can't figure out how to steward a race correctly, and it's inconsistent. They don't have the same refs. They're different people come in. They don't have the access to the same information from race to race. It's ludicrous. So, I mean, I guess that makes this exciting, like you were saying, but I'd rather know. I want to see good, awesome, clean fighting. I don't enjoy
Couldn't you have standardized stewardship? Why
They
couldn't
can.
you have a team that goes around from country to country?
They can.
They
just
can?
don't. Yeah.
Well, why don't they?
Probably because it costs money. Probably because I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, but it hasn't been pushed.
It's got to be the money, or it's got to be immigration. Like, do you need work visas?
Yeah, maybe. But even then, like you could have a home base of stewards in, I don't know, wherever, make it London, UK or whatever it is, a central, and then it goes back, because in the NFL, they go back to New York for controversial plays. There's a team of people watching. So they should just do that. They don't even need to send them to the race.
You know, I dated a woman once, and her stepfather was a steward.
For Formula One?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. What was that like?
Well, I mean, it probably prolonged the relationship by about 6 months.
Because you
I
thought
was
maybe you
hoping
could get
for an invitation. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen.
I mean, a lot of relationships are probably like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation where you're on a date, or maybe someone likes you, or there's a possibility of like, a relationship, and they're like super wealthy, but you're just not, it's just, there's no vibe.
Well, I did date a woman who was much wealthier than me and much classier. And I know that was the thing. Like, I was fine with it, but she was kind of like, like on the weekends, she'd be going to Quebec to ski with her buddies.
Right.
And that kind
Her
of stuff.
buddies being other women and guys, or
Yeah,
like,
well, they're
yeah.
all of the same ilk. They're all Etobicoke wealthy. all with the same blonde hair, all with the, and just like above my pay grade. And I
Right.
met her a couple of years after. I saw her with her friends at a
Mhm.
steakhouse. I was there with a buddy at Harry's, and and it was crazy. So she invited us over to her table, and we went and sat there. And then I went to the, and she started like putting her hand on my leg and stuff and
Mhm.
flirting with me. I went to the washroom, and as soon as I like got in there, the door behind me opened, and it was her,
Oh,
and she
wow.
locked the door, and we
Oh,
had
exciting.
like 10 minutes of passion in the washroom at Harry's Steakhouse all those years later. But it was like,
Harry's Steakhouse. That's bizarre. What a story that. See, now, like,
yeah, that was
that's a
fun.
great story. What you just told me. That's like this intro. Now, don't write a short film. That's not going to make you any money with that. But how do you take that moment and put it into a horror movie, and that's how you make money? You're welcome. All you young screenwriters listen to an F1 Chat Pod podcast. You're welcome.
Anyway, I knew not to start something up again because I just couldn't afford her. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, I was basically just because I was thinking about like the when you got into a relationship with someone who had a relationship with Formula One, right? And I wonder how
Yeah,
often people get involved in relationships because of these other factors, like
yeah,
you know, uh, she's the daughter of a Chinese manufacturing company. That
exactly.
could be a good life.
And
Maybe I should put some time
yeah,
into that.
and let's get into Mexico City, shall we? It's been 45 minutes of not talking about racing.
25 million people in Mexico City or more.
Wow. Talk to me. Tell me about Mexico City.
I've been there.
Me too. When were you there?
I was there. I shot a commercial for a realty uh, company in Canada, but it was for like to measure or to keep the standards, realty standards in Canada. By the way, there's monopoly in Canada regarding realty. FYI, just do a bit of research.
What year
Um,
was, you've got to stop telling people what how to spend their time.
that's
What
true, but
what year did you
this
make
is
that commercial and how much money did you make from it?
that commercial was probably 2018, 2018, I think. And that commercial probably made me to fly down there and get paid. I don't know, probably made like 5 grand on that. And I probably made 12 grand.
Hey, that's pretty good. You could use 12 grand right now, I bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead with my intro to Mexico City.
Go ahead.
I went to Mexico City 2 Novembers ago with my buddy Dr. Jeff Poultry of Stereo Coffee Roasters, and I can recommend the place wholeheartedly. That is a real fun city. We stayed in Koreatown, which, of course, at first I thought, wow, we're in Mexico and we're going to Koreatown. But then when you stop with the casual races and you realize in a city of 25 million people, there's probably going to be a couple Koreatowns.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't go to Koreatown if I went to Mexico City, but good for you. What did you like about it?
Well,
Kimchi, the
I
kimchi.
love the food. No, I
Mhm.
didn't eat a lot of kimchi. We went to Pujol, which is one of the most famous fancy restaurants down there. It's now turned into it. You know, how fancy restaurants, once they get on chef's table or something, they just turn into tourist traps. That's what we did. We went to
Oh,
the tourist trap of the famous restaurant, but we did eat giant ant larvae, which was
oh,
interesting.
cool. Oh, that's
Yeah,
really cool. Now, is that Korean or is that Mexican?
that's Mexican. Yeah, forget about the
Okay.
Korean thing. That's over with. That was
Well, can
just
I just say one
empathic.
thing about it real quick?
Hmm.
Have you noticed that there's cabbage? Like, I don't know if this is I don't quite know why I'm bringing this up, but you brought up Korea, and then I thought cabbage, kimchi, and then I went,
Yeah.
wait a minute. In Mexico, they put cabbage on their tacos or tacos, and then I was like, cabbage. England, that's how cabbage helped England win the war, World War II, or that's how they sustained a lot of their population. Is
Oh yeah.
cabbage is, and then there's like Chinese cabbage. So cabbage is just like this super vegetable that's in basically
You're
all
right.
across the world.
You're right. I eat a lot of cabbage.
It's really good for you.
Yeah, I love cabbage.
Sorry, back to Mexico and giant ant larvae.
Back to Mexico. Um, let's see, what else did we do? Oh, the another night we went to a proper taco joint, like real Mexican, where there was eyeballs on offer. I did not have a goat eyeball taco, although I wanted to. I just chickened out. But I did eat gizzard tacos and tongue tacos, and they were disgusting. So then we went
What?
around the corner and we found some good old fashioned El Pastor, and oh my God, it was so fucking good.
Uh,
Then on the way out of town, we bought a bunch of cheap Cialis, and we had breakfast brunch at a Japanese cafe, and it was the most incredible Japanese breakfast I've ever had. I also recommend traveling with Dr. Jeff Poultry. He's a real treat.
well, I'm just. Can we go back to the fact you didn't like the tongue taco?
Yeah. Too
It's
chewy, too bouncy.
really because if you cook it,
Yeah.
because when I've had it, it's been super tender. They cook it for so long.
Oh,
So,
well, maybe these Mexicans were in a rush.
interesting.
Let's get into the history of CDMX, shall we?
Yes.
Mexico City is the oldest capital city in the Americas and one of two founded by indigenous people. Originally built on a series of islands in a large lake surrounded by volcanoes around 1325, it's now the sixth largest urban area in the world with a population of over 25 million peoples. The lakes have been drained and are now considered extinct, but the city is sinking due to the extraction of groundwater. Shout out to Palm Springs. And the wet, muddy foundation is gradually rising. Locals call themselves Chilangos, and the nickname for CDMX is Chilangolandia. The French invaded Mexico City twice between 1861 and 1867. The Americans occupied the city for an entire year during the US Mexico Wars. Famous denizens include Frida Kahlo, Diego Rivera, her lover Leon Trotsky, and you can read about his murder in Barbara Kingsolver's The Lacuna, a very good read. Carlos Slim lives there, that's Checo's patron, as does the film director's Inarritu, he made Birdman and 21 Grams, and Cuarón, who made Roma, and Lupita Nyong'o. She's also from Mexico City. She probably doesn't know it, but she is honored because she is my present celebrity crush.
Oh, good. I love that. I appreciate the research, JP, and I apologize I didn't get into any of that for me because I've been dealing with
No,
other
I like
life
doing it.
matters.
I like doing it. You take care of the race.
Okay, I like that. I have one tip that I learned when I went to Mexico City, which was, try not to have my personality, which is I'll try everything, and I'll do that because I did that, and I went to based on the bellboys or bell person's advice. Try that taco stand on such and such on such and such, and make sure you drink this drink. It's like
And
a
you go
milk
and do
drink,
it.
and
Oh,
I
yeah.
did it. And then I flew home with
Horchata.
Montezuma's port. There it is. And I flew home with
Diarrhea.
yeah. That was twice I've gone to Mexico, and I've had to fly home in considerable pain.
Well, first of all, I take the butt plug even in Canada. I mean, you just never know. Imodium, that's what you call it. Certainly, if you're going to Mexico, you just start popping one of those a day.
Oh, I didn't never.
Yeah, that's a travel tip from me to you. So don't just be constipated for the trip, and then when you go home, then you can start defecating again.
Right. But what's interesting is when I went to Puerto Vallarta, I was like super, okay, I'm being super cautious. And I asked every local, and I didn't adhere to don't do this. And I felt fine. I mean, I didn't drink water off the street or anything. I drank bottled water. But I ate street tacos and I had no problem. I drank their drinks there
Yeah.
because they were so tourist heavy that they knew to make their ice with bottled water. They didn't want people getting sick.
Oh,
So they wanted people to come back.
yeah.
And I had this amazing dish, JB, where it's like this weird, like cold soup, and it's tomato based with fresh seafood in it. I can't remember what it's called. And it was like fresh clams, mussels, crab legs,
So
like
good.
shrimp. It was amazing. Just Mexican food is probably some of the best food in the world in terms of its diversity of spices
agree.
and options.
I agree. I would eat Mexican food forever,
Yeah.
and Mexican people often do that.
Mhm. That's right, they do. I'm going to go right into some predictions about the Mexican Grand Prix.
Go for it.
Now, JB, you might not know this, but they're at, I believe it is 2,000 feet above sea level, maybe even meters. I should really look that
I
up.
think it's
But
2,500 meters. I saw.
so that means the engines are going to be under a bit more stress. That means the cars themselves, because they're not used to traveling or working in that type of environment. And the drivers, of course, there's not as much oxygen, and they're
Right.
driving. So the race actually becomes quite a unique race just for that alone. The track's amazing. It's got some high speed turns into turns, which is always great to watch in F1. That's why you saw the crazy Albon. Well, you probably didn't watch it, but that accident with Albon into Ollie Behrman, which is unfortunate because I feel like Alex Albon might be under a bit of pressure now that Franco Colapinto is doing so well. My thought for this race, I'm going to make a bold prediction, and I think you should too, but maybe you don't need to if you don't want to. I think Max Verstappen, apparently he might have to start from the back of the grid, might have to get an engine change, but I'm going to say even if he does, he's still going to be involved in brushing wheels with somebody. I'm not saying it's going to be a full-blown accident, but he's going to be involved with someone brushing wheels, and it's going to start this whole talk about how he drives and passes again. Like that's all going to come up. I think the Ferraris win the race.
Really? How come?
I think they're going to do it. I think it's the right track. There's some slow speed corners and there's some high speed, but they do very well in the slow speed, whereas McLaren doesn't do very well in slow speed. So if McLaren isn't on the front row, they won't win the race. And I think Ferrari does get the front row. I think Ferrari is going to be potentially both cars in the first two rows, and I think that they'll win the race. But I don't know. It'll be either Carlos or Leclerc. I don't know.
Where does hometown favorite Checo? Where does he?
He finishes in the top 10. I don't know, 7th.
That's it. There's it.
Yeah.
No advantage. No home field advantage.
He's got to go.
He's got to go.
If Daniel Rick had to go, Perez has to go.
But no, or maybe there's something to do with that car, like he's been saying all season. It's not just me, it's the car. And then finally, when it happened to Verstappen, everybody was like, oh, maybe it's the car. It's not just Checo.
Yeah, I think there's value to that. But no question, Liam Lawson will be in that car next year and go up against Max Verstappen. And all prayers should be with Liam Lawson.
How come?
Because Max is basically, other than Daniel Rick, early days, has destroyed every teammate he's had. So that's quite, like if I was Liam Lawson, I would have just signed with another team.
You don't think that it'd be great to be the second driver behind F1's greatest present driver?
Not based on how Red Bull operates. Red Bull clearly operates all Max Verstappen. So it's hard enough in Formula One to succeed as a driver. It's very difficult. And then to go into a team knowing that team actually isn't really behind you. And they'll say that they are, but they're not. They're all behind Max Verstappen. End of story.
You can't have a team that's behind both drivers?
You can. It's a harder effort for the whole team to be fair and to do that, and for both drivers to, because I think drivers are innately selfish and they have to be. Other than Lando Norris, because he just gave up a win in Hungary because the team guilted him.
Yeah, on live television.
So and then
disgusting. I'm still not over that. So
you can see how hard it is to manage two drivers, and really, I'm hard pressed to think of a time when that ever was truly successful.
Does McLaren win the constructors because they've been trying to thread that needle more than anyone?
I think they do. I think they still do.
They still do. They don't lose it all because they're trying to have their cake and eat it too.
No, I think they win the constructors. I think Ferrari finished second. I think Max The only way Lando has a chance of winning the world championship is if Max has some sort of mechanical failure and has a couple races where he either doesn't get points or gets like 2 or 3 points, and that's it. That's the only way. And then Lando has to win. But I mean, everyone's saying it's a close championship. I mean, it's not really. They're just doing their best to keep it exciting.
Let's learn about a sponsor, shall we?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about Telmex, guys. Owned by Carlos Slim, Mexico's richest man. He's worth $90 billion. He's also
90 billion.
90 billion, and he's 84 years old, also the same age as my father. So what have you done for us lately, Dad? He's also the patron of one Sergio Checo Perez, which is Mexican for big penis.
Sorry?
Checo is Mexican for slang for big cock.
I had no idea. Are you kidding
he's got
me?
a hammer down. No, it was in Drive to Survive.
That's what Checo means?
Checo means big hammer.
I love it.
Yeah. Carlos's father, Khalil Salim Haddad Aglamaz, was born in 1888 in Lebanon. Al Pastor tacos are, of course, the result of Lebanese shawarma shops putting pork meat on the rotisserie rather than the traditional lamb-beef combo that is found in a gyro that was brought over by Lebanese immigrants that immigrated to Mexico. So that's two billionaires that I know of that are Lebanese. Steve Jobs and Carlos Slim.
Steve Jobs is Lebanese?
Yeah, his dad was from Lebanon.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Telmex is privately held by Slim and a group of investors. It is the largest fixed-line phone company in Mexico. Telmex is a monopoly, which, according to U.S. law, is not illegal, but acting like a monopoly is. Telmex boasts a market share of landlines of 95%, leading to competitors levying charges of illegal market cornering in that department.
So, I mean, we talked about this before. It does feel like there's nothing you can do about monopolies. However, didn't the European Union, I can't remember the name of the woman, $13 billion tax fraud or tax evasion or something bill to Apple came down last month.
Is that right?
Yeah. She says, Apple, you owe $13 billion. And you know what's hilarious about that is that Mr. Buffett, everyone who thinks he's such a great guy, obviously he has insider information because he sold the most amount of Apple shares he's ever sold right before this was announced. So clearly they know what they're doing. And
yet $13 billion to a company that's valued at $3 trillion. Is that really a serious number anymore?
Yeah, you kind of go like, what is that? Is that like if I had a dollar in my pocket, what is the percent? Is that like 7 cents? Is that the equivalent? Like,
yeah.
My sponsor is Kick. They sponsor Sauber, and I always thought that they were like a some sort of Bitcoin, some sort of thing, and they're not. They're a streaming platform.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. They have live streams, so we could be streaming this to Kick. They have video games. They have sports, they have sketches, they have TV, like it's insane.
Oh.
And I had no idea
about Kick.
Well, because I mean, I'm always excited when I discover something new, and it's like they have movies and and special events. Like they have free games you play online, you stream everything online. I mean, I don't know why you have to stream everything online, but maybe we should be streaming there because they sponsor Formula One team.
An hour ago, you bullied me into upgrading on this, and now you want to switch?
No. It's like a platform.
Oh, instead of Twitch, we use Kick.
You could, yeah.
I see. Well, now that we've upgraded, we can do Kick too.
God damn it. JB, I'm just going to apologize for berating your life choice about going back to school. I still believe that I'm I'm right. I kind of wish that you would use your time for entrepreneurial matters.
Yeah, but I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm a freelancer. I
But
always have been a freelancer. And I did spend the last 2 years trying to start a teaching outfit. And I spent 95% of my time advertising. And I don't want to chase down warm bodies. That sucks. Nobody needs another acting teacher, but the world does need another therapist because the mental health is so hot right now. So I'm going to where they want me. Also, Milky, I looked around, like nobody wants white men anymore, correct? Especially in the film and TV industry. They used to
what?
love this. Now they don't like it at all.
Mhm.
So
Well,
after auditioning for 5 years and not booking anything, I looked around different industries. Well, who does want white men? And you know what I found out? They still like them in law firms. They're like, they don't care. They're like, sure, we'll take white guys as long as you can make money. We don't give a fuck. So then I looked at law school. That would be another at least 4 years. Then I looked at therapy, and they were like, yeah, we like white guys too because there's so many women,
here's my
so
concern
many
about
female.
therapy. Here's
So
my
then I
concern.
was like, great, they don't mind
Right.
the color of my skin or my gender. And it's only 2.5 years to get a master's. That's the shortest one I could find.
But in that 2.5 years, people will be using AI therapists.
No, they won't. I mean, sure, some will, but you get what you pay for. AI is not going to be this silver bullet that kills all industries immediately. People are still like, we're still waiting around for autonomous cars that don't crash into buildings.
Did you hear about this LLM that made it's a AI robot that made a meme that believes in goat cults and makes all these posts. It's worth $10 million.
So that's what we should be doing.
So when and they were like, that won't happen for like 3 or 4 years, unless it was, I don't know if it was less than a year, but it was around a year.
Mhm.
This guy who I follow on TikTok, can't remember his name. He was saying that they were like, okay, someone is going to make an AI, a large language model AI, start a business and and that's what it did. And now it's valued at 10 million.
So that's what we should be doing. I think you keep looking at industries that we have no knowledge in whatsoever, and you compare yourself to that, and then you feel like, damn it, I want that. But that's not. You got to bloom where you're planted, Milky.
I know, but this is what I'm saying. Live entertainment is
Oh,
where it's at.
yes, live entertainment is where it's at, but I haven't done that in years. You do that. You're doing great. You're on the right path. My path is different.
You can get on this path, JB.
Let's talk about the weather, okay? We're
Yeah.
looking at a high of 23 for race day, Sunday, October 27th. A low of 11 there in Mexico City. Mostly clear, but also partly cloudy. 68% chance of a shower in the afternoon, but it shouldn't be more than a couple millimeters. Wind gusts of up to 30 kilometers an hour, but it's Mexican wind, so it smells like coconuts. The UV index is a high of 7, so all you pale faces, slip, slap, slop, and really anyone, the anyone with skin out there, you should be careful. Not a lot of trees in the stands at that racetrack. So what's our tire strategy for tomorrow, Milky?
You know what? I'm not 100% sure, but guaranteed they'll probably go C2, C3, which is a medium and a hard probably, because if it's really hot and it's a slick surface, the soft tires will, if I'm correct, will be not very useful. They'll lose their grip very quick. So it'll probably be medium and hard, and they'll probably start with mediums, because then that way they'll have potentially good traction off the start of the line. Anyone outside of the top 10, will start on hard tires.
I don't want to be which. Hey, we might see some surprises in the beginning because it's actually not that hot tomorrow.
Oh, well, that's good. But apparently, if I remember what correctly, was one of the hosts on the F1, not the Sky, but the one that you watch. Uh, they were like, the problem with Mexico is that as soon as that sun comes out, like in this, and there's a break in the smog. I guess it's pretty smoggy in Mexico City. I mean, I was there; you couldn't see 4 blocks. The track just elevates instantly. Like it's like
Really?
so fast. Yeah. So I think what's exciting about that is if it's cloudy or whatever and it's hazing, and there's not enough direct. But if there does become direct sunlight, that throws tire strategy into a whole new. And there's 3 DRS zones, which is exciting. Keeps the cars close together. Potentially some more passing.
End of DRS next year. Are you sad about that?
I missed that. Are you serious?
Yeah, DRS is going away with the 2026 rule changes.
Oh, 20.
Did I say next year? Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize that for 2026 either. Shocked. What?
Yeah. No more DRS, apparently. So you'll do some research on that for next episode and have a strong take, have a hot take on it.
I will have a hot take, a milky take. I guess it's not hot
take.
at all. JB, I want to know what your predictions are. Why don't we do our top 3? Let's just do our top. I know everyone else does it, but let's do our top 3.
I don't have predictions. I don't have
Just
predictions.
pick. Come on, just pick 3.
No,
pick
you
3
do
names.
yours first.
Okay, I'm going to do Carlos Sainz, which is probably not the right way to do it but it's partially because I kind of like him. I think it's going to be Carlos. I think it's going to be Leclerc, and there'll be a bit of controversy around that.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be Lando, and I think it's going to be Piastri, and then I think it's going to be. I'm going to say, I want to do it, Liam Lawson.
Oh, I like it.
And then I think Perez finishes somewhere below Liam Lawson, and I think Verstappen does. I don't know. We'll find out today. I guess he's going to have a penalty. Of engine penalty, starts from the back of the grid, and he'll make his way up to like 6th or 7th or something.
On a sad note, instead of doing our broadcaster or podcaster of the day, I want to say goodbye to Naomi Schiff.
What?
She got married a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
And he looks like a really handsome French guy. So she's off the market, and I guess I'm gonna have to go back to talking about Natalie Pinkham.
She's off the market.
Is she though? I mean, Naomi Schiff is newly married, so that's if you've been married for a while, you're back on the market.
Yeah, I guess.
But with Natalie, it's a crowded field. You know,
yeah.
I don't like to be in there with everybody else. You know, I like.
My broadcaster of the day, and I will say, JB, you're probably there's some truth to what you're saying. If you've been married for 20 plus years, maybe.
Road rules, baby. See you in CDMX.
Anthony Davidson, for his breakdown of the controversial passing or not passing of Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. He is got to be one of the most, I feel like he's objective, analytical, but yet he still says, it's my opinion. You know, like I'm not right, but he was great. He broke it all the way down, and he's also tiny and quite charming.
And you like that in a man?
I like a tiny man.
Yeah. No, I fair enough. Me too.
I got lots of friends that are short.
Yeah. Yeah. You like to keep them short.
I often find this grand generalization. I find short people quite witty and funny, compared to taller people. No offense, JB, you're the exception.
It's okay.
I don't find tall people as witty as short people.
Now that's a hot take. Okay, I've got to wrap it up. I'm up north, and I've got to get back to my. What have I got?
You got your kids, and you got some hiking.
No, I don't have kids, but I have 10 hours without kids. 10 hours left before I have to go to sleep, and then I've got to work tomorrow. Let's wrap it up with apologies, Milky. I want to lead the way here. I want to apologize to Carlos Slim because he is a billionaire, and they can pretty much do whatever they want. So, so I just wanted to say, if I said anything untoward about Carlos, you're a very powerful man. I've been to your museum designed by your son, and I loved it, especially the painting of the deformed king, Charles II, I think, who was the. Do you know that painting, Milky? Of the guy with the weird he had his jaw didn't form properly and he
Yeah,
had
I
the
don't believe in
cleft
the
palate,
monarchy.
and
I don't believe in monarchies.
you don't believe they exist,
Yeah,
or
yeah, I just don't believe
they
in them.
don't
So
exist.
therefore, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Who do you want to apologize to?
I want to apologize. I'll start with you attacking
Yeah,
your life choice, number one,
thank you.
and
Most
then
accepted.
that slides right into anyone who thinks that they need help. You know, get the help you think that you need. I apologize for saying get on with it, because maybe you need help to get on with it. And then I also apologize to the profession of psychotherapists, because you're probably very valuable for a lot of people, just not for me.
Well, on behalf of all psychotherapists across the land, we accept your apology, and we know that it's just a matter of time before we get you on our couch, Milky.
Now, you realize we're going to get, when we live stream, we might get lots of nasty comments about us.
Let's hope
So,
so, especially you.
yeah, you know, so let's just be prepared for that. And just remember that a few words typed down on a keyboard and left on a live stream comment board mean nothing. And also what we're doing means absolutely nothing. So
Yeah,
say I love,
we're all ants,
and
we're
we're
gonna
just
die.
moving. We're no, hang on. There's more to it.
Hang on,
We're
that's
just,
okay. Hang on.
we're ants.
Yeah,
We pick stuff up, we move it around,
yeah.
and then somebody
Yes. It's so freeing, isn't it? It's so
What?
freeing to know that we're all ants
Mhm.
and we're all gonna die. And as far as the comments go, I don't even know how to find them. I don't read. I couldn't find the comments. I don't go back to things. I
Mhm.
post them, and that's it. I don't go back and talk. I don't know how to do it.
Oh my God, I'm so envious. Another reason why I like Anthony Davidson is he's not on social media.
Well, that's my goal, is that I'm not even going to have a cell phone one day or a car. Can't wait.
God, you're gonna embrace old age so good.
That's freedom right there. Yeah. I'm going to find a nice housekeeper to have sex with, and that'll be my last romantic relationship.
This has been the F1 Chat Pod. We'll see you
Thank you
next
so
week
much.
when I actually do some research.
I'm going to end the stream now, Milky, and I'm going to go back upstairs, and I love you and thank you for this.